Welcome back to Fox 12 Now. Thank you for being here. I'm Greg Nibbler, and we are live streaming out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom as we do every weekday. We cover a wide range of topics, but topic at the front of the mind for everybody is the amount of wildfires that are happening right now. It's that season. We've been in it, and we knew that this could be kind of a strong one this year. But regardless, every year it's something to think about and be wary of because they can happen at any moment, with these lightning strikes being a perfect example that we've just been having, starting fires. It could pop up at any time. And we want to talk about what you need to know as far as being safe in those situations in wildfire season. Say you're driving down the road and smoke all of a sudden shows up all over the road. What do you do in those kinds of, situations? So we're going to talk about that. We have right now Patence joining us from the Oregon Department of Emergency Management, and great to have you on here to talk about this, such an important subject, because the smoke is everywhere, but particularly, over in the central and east side right now, such a huge concern. And I think to start off, would you mind just telling us a little bit about yourself and your role there, and really what some of the big concerns are that you're seeing from an organizational standpoint?
Oh, sure. So I work at the Oregon Department of Emergency Management, and I'm the deputy director here in the agency. We've opened up our emergency coordination center. We're running at what we love to call level 3 activation. We've brought in our staff and state agencies to coordinate our response and support with our first responder partners in the field. That includes ODOT, OSFM, ODF. Mapping critical infrastructure and making sure that we have good plans and sheltering, evacuation routes, evacuation zones, and coordination of all of those resources across all emergency support functions.
I mean, that is a lot of coordination right there. And I
Yeah.
would, a lot of organizations, a lot of acronyms, but all very
Mhm.
important that everybody's working together. And I would think too, on your end, it's plan and then wait and see what happens and then adapt, I would guess, to wherever the situation may arise.
Yeah, that's correct. So, for example, what's happening behind me are all the state agencies are coordinating. We have daily cooperation calls where we all get on the same phone call. We listen to the local jurisdictions, what they're responding to, any impacts and unmet needs that they're experiencing. They elevate those issues and concerns to the state, and we work really hard to address those issues. Sometimes they don't have all the resources or the capabilities they need at the local level. That's first and foremost. But as we see the number of fires on the landscape right now, we also see a reduction in resources to respond and support those unmet needs or gaps. For example, we're running currently at an emergency preparedness level 5, which means all resources are dedicated or given to respond to an incident nationally and geographically within the fire world. So we're leaning in here in this office to bring in international capabilities from other countries. That's what our agency does, is to support our fire partners in that coordination. But we also work on advanced planning and consequence management activities to better understand the impacts of a fire, such as last night's Aqua fire up near Sisters. We worked quickly to help gather the information about critical infrastructure, population at risk, what are the transportation routes, to ensure we can help that community respond to support their evacuation plans and their readiness and preparedness should they need to evacuate that community of Sisters.
Wow. So just being ready, right when something like that happens and have that kind of planning in
Mhm.
place is pretty amazing and so important. And I want to talk about road safety. I did just want to follow up a couple of things you mentioned there as far as
Please.
international assistance. Are there currently international crews helping fight any of these fires here in Oregon?
The last I heard was we were talking to Australia was coming into the country, and there was one other one, but the name escapes me. I think we currently working with our neighbors to the south, California, I thought Nevada, Canada's on fire. So the list gets pretty long, and you lose track after a while.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. I can only imagine. Well, talking about the rapid nature of these fires and how they can pop up like that, just like the one over there in Sisters. And talking about just the population, somebody driving down the road, it's summertime, a lot of people going on trips, a lot of people out there on the highways. What are the important things that people should be thinking about or know when it comes to wildfires when you're driving down some of these roads?
Yeah, it's always starts at the most individual level is key and the most important. Knowing your route, especially when you're traveling to unknown areas. Looking at Trip Check is the first place to go here in Oregon to ensure you have a clear understanding of your routes to where you're going to go camping, where you're going to be recreating, and if there were a fire, which direction would you go and how would you get there? Ensuring you have enough gas in your car is really, really important. People always forget that their power might go out, and those gas stations may not have adequate power to fuel your car. So first is personal preparedness in your transportation, knowing your route, making sure you have enough fuel, and have a plan.
So, of having enough fuel. So yeah, good idea. Make sure your gas tank is full. Don't wait around on that, and having that plan in place. Even even having a plan in place, if you are driving down the road and say you encounter smoke or even fire on the side of the road or something like that, what are the steps that you can take to try to ensure your safety as much as possible?
We'd like you to turn around, like call 911 and report the fire that you see in the location, so that first responders can get the fire out and turn around. Much like flooding, turn around, don't drown. Same thing with smoke. Yep.
So turn around and head back the other way.
Yep.
What are some other key things that people should be thinking about?
Fire growth can be rapid. Not a lot of people really understand the weather dynamics that impact fire and fire growth and how rapid fire can move. So when first responders are putting level 1, level 2, and level 3s in place, sometimes those fire systems can create their own weather, and it can get really bad in very short order. And so you need to be able to make protective decisions, take protective measures for yourself and your family, whether you should stay or go. That's really important to ensure that you're not adding to the problem within your neighborhood, your community, or in your vehicle where you're at in those areas.
So following along with what those level evacuation notices are from the local authority on that, but then also
Yep.
just ascertaining and looking at what's happening in real time in front of you and making your own
Yep.
decisions, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes a level 3 may or may not come where they tell you to go right now. You may or may not get that, and you need to make those decisions for yourself, right? Don't wait for the call to come. It's extremely important in these volatile situations where the wind picks up, there's active fire on the landscape. You need to make immediate decisions for yourself and your family, and that's why we have levels of evacuation. Level 1 really means we need you to pack a bag and think about what's your route and who are you taking with you. Those are key points. When we get to level 2, if you're in an RV or you're recreating, if you have livestock or you have access and functional needs, we want you to get on the road and get out of harm's way. Level 3 means go now, don't wait. You don't pass go, you don't get $200. You need to go now. And sometimes people get a little complacent and they don't think through that process. But I think here in Oregon, we're really getting our hands around what level 1, level 2, level 3 means.
Yeah, and that planning ahead of time and just thinking that through, I would imagine, knowing what your escape routes are.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. What are some things that people can do to help emergency services and to help, all the different services that are helping to fight these fires? What can people do to make sure you're assisting or just not getting in the way of something like that?
Yeah, know your sources, your trusted sources of information on social media and the news. Know who and where you're getting your alert and warning notifications from. If you have not already, sign up for Or Alert. Again, you'd mentioned it. If you're a transient population coming from another state or another community to another community you've never been in before, make sure you have those channels of communication available to at your fingertips. A lot of people want to go look at fires and take pictures and post them on social media. We caution against that because while we're moving resources in to get the fire out, we have people that are trying to go in and do those things, and we'd prefer that they stay back at a safe distance and not be in the area where those fires are making large runs. We've seen some exponential fire growth over the last couple of days. It's only the end of July. We've got a long way to go in fire season.
Yeah, still so much more and not a lot of rain expected on the way, and yeah, a lot to
That's
watch out
correct.
for when it comes to that.
Yeah,
Well,
watch out for fire crews, fallen trees, smoke, power lines. It's really important that folks take protective measures for themselves. Yep.
Patience, where can people go just to find out more information?
So you can come to our website, which is oem.oregon.gov is one site. Let's caught me off guard on this one. I
Sorry.
have
No,
slowed down
I
now.
know there's lots of places that people can go, but yeah, yeah.
Wildfire.oregon.gov, FEMAready.gov is one. There's a couple of sites out there.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you so much, for joining us here to talk about this and to share this
Yeah.
information and all the work you all are doing and the whole teams behind you there
Yeah.
in battling these fires and trying to keep people
Yeah.
safe. So
Thanks,
really
Greg.
appreciate it.
Yep. Yeah.
Thanks.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. And for everybody watching, we are live streaming here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. We do need to take a break. We've got a lot of coverage of a lot of different topics that we'll be doing here today, including up next talking about a Beaverton Korean Cultural Festival. We'll explain more on that here in just a couple of minutes with Fox 12 Now.